Hello everyone, let's continue with our series Better Communication, Better Connections. In the last video, we talked about the soft skill called engaging. Today, we will talk about another soft skill, asking questions. If we talk about language, it has two main aspects. One is comprehension. Comprehension is understanding of language, and the other part is expression. In expression, we convey things using language. In my clinical practice, what I have seen is mostly the kids these days have good comprehension, but the expressive part is the one which lags behind. The parents these days very well know that they need to be talking to their child, they need to give a lot of language stimulation, because of which the understanding part, the comprehension of the language is quite good. The major problem comes how to express using language. As the parent keeps on helping the child by giving information, giving language, the child sometimes get used to it, and so does the parent. The parent gets into a rescuer mode wherein they know that they have to always be there for the child, speak for the child. So one of the good ways in which we can mindfully reduce the rescuer mode and help the child increase the expressive skills using language is asking questions. So in this video, we'll be talking about asking questions. We'll break it down into three main parts. The first part is why is asking questions important? The second part is what kinds of question can we ask? And the third part is how to incorporate asking questions into our daily routine. I would like to remind you again that these soft skills will be helpful for anyone, any child, irrespective of their age, current communication skills, or their diagnosis. It will be also helpful for any adult who wants to improve their communication skills or any specific communication difficulties due to any pathologies. Coming to the first part of the video, why is asking questions important? Quite often in our clinic we see when the child is there with the parent, child will drop something, parent will immediately pick it up. If the child wants to change positions, can't sit, they'll just raise their hand. If the child wants to go out, they'll just stand at the door, and very smoothly, quickly, the parent will do the needful. It is beautiful that they have this understanding, but what happens is, here again, this is an example of how the parent goes into a rescuer mode. By doing so, what happens is we take away small opportunities in which the child can interact with us. If we make use of these small opportunities, we can inculcate in the child that if I speak, I'm at benefit. This is important, especially for a child who is currently at a non-verbal level. Even when we know that currently that the child cannot speak, it is important to throw questions. In the examples that I just gave, we could ask questions like, do you want help? Do you want me to pick you up? Do you want me to open the door? Here, even if the child responds only by humming, random vocalization, or pointing, or nodding, or gesturing, anything is welcome. We make sure that once we ask question and then the child responds, slowly the child is understanding that to get things done, they have to express, they have to put an effort. Here the child also starts understanding that communication is a two-way street. When it comes to verbal kids, we can ask questions of a level higher than their current communication skills. That helps them to think in those lines, and then the transition to improve their communication skills goes smoother and faster. Coming to the second part of the video, what kind of questions to ask? In this, it is a good idea to have an understanding of what the current level of the child is, and then once in a while, after the child is comfortable in that level, we can throw in questions of a higher level. For example, usually the child begins with kinship terms like mama, papa, dada. So our questions move around like, where is mama? Where is papa? So the child is left with only pointing. In this level, we can change the questions of Who got this for you? So then they get an opportunity to say mama or papa. So the questions that we ask vary. The next level is child starts saying objects, which are basically more of nouns. When we keep on showing different books or flashcards, we get happy that now our child identifies a lot of fruits and vegetables and alphabets. So what we do is keep on asking, where is apple, where is ball, where is cat? Here what happens is the child is left only with again pointing, showing where the apple is, showing where the ball is. Once when we are sure that now the child knows very well, it's time to move ahead. So then at that point, when our question shifts to what is this, then the child has an opportunity to at least attempt apple. If apple doesn't come, or any random vocalization, so then the child knows that now we expect them to speak and not just point. After the nouns, the next level, the one of the most important aspects of the sentence is verbs or actions, because actions convey most of the meaning when it comes to language. So there the questions can vary from what is he or she doing. So then the child gets an opportunity to respond: eating apple, throwing ball, cat drinking. So here, as our question changed, the child got an opportunity to include the action or the verb. After the verb, if we want to make the language richer, we start adding adjectives, prepositions, which gives us more information about the same object that we were talking about earlier. We can add different questions like which apple, eating red apple, which ball, throwing big ball, where is the cat sitting, the cat is sitting down and drinking milk. So here, irrespective of the child being able to respond to these questions or no, at least we are throwing a light on this, so the child starts thinking towards those lines. And if we consistently include those questions, then the child starts incorporating those aspects of language in their daily usage. The time period required to move from one step to the other may vary from few days to weeks or sometimes even years. That depends from child to child. In general, once a child reaches a level of say 3 to 5 words in a sentence, we should start including more of open-ended questions. Instead of questions like where do you want to go this Sunday, question like I wonder what all are you going to do in the play area this Sunday. So when we ask such open-ended questions, we give them an opportunity to add more and more information that comes to their mind. If the child stops, then there's no harm in asking follow-up questions and then to navigate the communication accordingly. Coming to the third part of the video, how can we incorporate asking questions in our daily routine? In our day-to-day life, there are a lot of planning, discussions that keeps on happening, in which usually it's just the adults who will take part. But if we make sure to include the child in that, then very organically child is exposed to a lot of questions and higher chances that the child might spontaneously come up with certain answers. These routine questions could be: how does your day look like? You want to play with today? What do we do this weekend? Where do we plan our next trip? In this way, when we involve the child in daily planning, the child feels that his opinion is being taken care of, he bonds better, and also he's encouraged to use his expressive skills for communicating. This will also give us an amazing opportunity to engage better with the child. Just a reminder, our last video was entirely upon the skill of engaging with the child. So if you haven't checked that out, please go back to that video and please watch that. Towards the end of the video, I would like to remind you all that asking questions is not just collecting data. It is more of having the intention to bond better, to make the child seen, to try to understand what they are feeling, what they are thinking, what they want. This kind of thoughtful engagement while interacting with the child adds value to our life and makes it more fulfilling. As a fun analogy, supposedly it's said that Google knows everything, but even Google doesn't answer us unless we ask questions. The kind of answer that we get from Google quite often depends upon the kind of questions we ask. Let's keep asking thoughtful questions on a consistent basis. So in the coming videos, we will be talking about few other skills that will help us connect better. Till then, stay tuned. Let's be in tune. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to be notified for further videos, please press the bell icon.